Start streaming. OBS is green. YouTube is green. Twitch is green. What are you looking for? Oh, I've lost it in all of this cleaning up to I don't know where it is. Sorry. Alright, that... Yeah, exactly. And I actually have them all, like, they're all in the little, you know, if I go here, it tells me what all of them are. All... It's called Justice. Okay. And we are going to go... and... hit that, and we are live with League 1 Week 6 Game 1, Stanford at Washington State. A quick look at Stanford's team before we kick off. They do have, they are currently just outside the top 25 at number 26. They just dropped because they lost a game this week. We'll take a quick look through. So they got a solid junior quarterback, 86. Not amazing, but lots and lots of power. Injured halfback, but he might be coming back this week, we think. We'll check that real quick. Stanford, he's out. Their backup is a Heisman candidate. Yeah, big game. 2 Heisman candidates. Let's look at that. He's an 84. I think they're. Yeah, those both look like probably starters. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So getting back to Stanford's halfbacks, I've been saying for a second. This gentleman, Mr. Simmons, is a sophomore who is now currently second place in the Heisman because of that 150 yards a game. That is enormous. That is a ton. Yeah, 8 touchdowns, 5 games. Woo-wee. Just under 2 touchdowns a game and 24 yards receiving. Not really. We got a fullback. So it looks like they use 1 receiver. They probably throw to the tight end. They're a team that's known for that, Stanford. Ooh, except their tight end is a 61. But they still throw 88 yards a game to him. All right, interesting. Yeah, Washington and Alston, the guys to look for. All right, on the line, they've got a young left tackle, 76. It's decent for a sophomore, but it's a sophomore. 81 left guard, 77, 91. Sorry, that 91, yes, is hurt. Sorry, yeah, I'm getting some text from other people in the league about, particularly my opponent. Yeah, alright, so I'm going to hand the headset off while I deal with some administrative stuff.
So the offensive line from left to right. Jared Parker, the sophomore, 76, but he does have 81 awareness. Holmes, junior, 81 guard. 77 junior center, and then this right guard's hurt, so they're looking at 70s on the interior, obviously with the 72 back up there at right guard. Going to be a weak spot with the 72 on the right side at the tackle position. Means the right side's got a lot to ask for. Left side's not too much better, only marginally. So not the strongest of an offensive line, but needless to say, it's a surprise then that the backup halfback averaging that monstrous 150 yards a game behind this offensive line. Defensively, an impact player, although he's only a 75 sophomore, the left end Jeff Butler. He does have a nice pop in his step with the 88 acceleration. 85 senior right end. It's going to make running to the left a little bit more difficult than it is to the right so far. We haven't seen the linebackers yet. Brian Fine in the heart of the defense, the defensive tackle position, an 85 overall. To go with a true freshman 79. But he is a little bit undersized at only 260, especially given his speed of not being stellar. You'd either like one or the other, a lot of size or a lot of athleticism. This guy, not a whole bunch of either, but still a 79 freshman, so he must have the moves. We're going to double check on his block shedding pursuit and whatnot. Yeah, for a freshman, those are deadly numbers, especially the power and finesse moves, 85 and 86. So he is a raw talent, and eventually he's going to be really good, but his numbers would lie to you otherwise. So not too bad of a defensive line, a little bit stronger on the right side than the left side. Outside linebacker, that's a pretty good one there at 88 on the left, and an 87 on the right, and in the middle, an 87 as well. So they're pretty solid, 87, 88, 87, right in that range at linebacker with some solid backups as well. Good linebacking core to go with what continues to be a good secondary, although we know Jackson's injured. Johnson's only 2 points worse, and Frank will come into the slot. His speed will actually probably be a little bit better in the slot than Johnson's would have been anyway, so that might be a step up because Johnson's only got the 84 acceleration with 87 speed. I'd rather have Frank in the slot to begin with. However, continuing on, we see the 93 free safety, the best player of the defense so far, to go with what is an outwardly growing defense. They seem to get stronger the deeper we go. Strong safety, not stellar but solid, 82 junior. And then a 79, I'm going to check his power real quick, 79 kicker, average, so nothing spectacular there. But really, what is a pretty solid secondary with the 93 free safety, a 90 and an 82, and then 87, 88s in linebacker to go with an 85 D end, an 85 D tackle, and a 75 D end impact player. So interesting here that offensive line a little bit weaker than we would have thought, and they're a little bit banged up, but it's not hurting them as much as it might other teams. Although those 291s, the right guard, as well as the halfback, both big losses. So I'm going to hand it back over to my compadre and get started playing this game.
Good evening, Fusion. It's nice to hear from Germany. Glad to hear from you. And yeah, we're about to get this kicked off. Between two teams in the Pac-12 and two Heisman candidates at quarterback for Washington State and halfback for Stanford. Well, thank you, Fusion. I think we both put a lot of work into it, so we're really happy to hear that you enjoy it. It's something that we enjoy doing, and as I was saying, I don't think you were around the other week, but I've learned a tremendous amount this past season and a quarter by commentating on the games, because I've had to pay more attention to Washington State's games than I have even before. and because I knew what they did for so many years, and I stopped paying as much attention, and I've learned a lot. So hopefully that's something that is reflected in our commentary. And yeah, I'm seeing that #1 defensive points against. I really got to steal that from you. I really do. I need to get rid of my defensive coordinator. He needs to go.
Okay, we're doing my game now.
Let's sell him. Yeah, sorry. Sorry. You pointed.
Big play. We get excited. We're
Yeah.
selling Washington State.
Yeah, no, I understand. But yeah, no, very impressive defensive numbers there from Washington State. First against the rush, 45 yards. That's stellar. First points, that's stellar. Surprising is that they're only averaging 31.3 points per game. Usually, I consistently expect there to be 35 or more points from Washington State every week. So an average of 31.3 is surprisingly low. As actually, I think the average of 286, I usually see Vincent Vega around 3. But I think it's because of the games that they've played this year, and I'm excited to see how we can get those numbers up for Washington State.
One important number. 4-0 plus prior to the season means that last game we broke the league record for consecutive victories. We are now riding a 31-game winning streak.
And coach is pointing out another important fact. Now, when you say this is a League 1 record, the league, yes, he has last week he broke the League 1 record for most consecutive wins. He now has a 31-game win streak. So we'll see how far he can get that to go.
That's more important than those numbers.
Yeah, no, that's a big deal.
Sunny day.
Nice sunny day in California. Well, I'm glad to hear that. You know, it's a question. Like, I don't know how many people watch the watch the stream or go back for the video on demand stuff, because I don't bother looking at it. We put it up there so it exists because it's easy, and then don't do much with it. But I'm glad you catch it. Yeah, views. Yeah, that's number of views. Interesting. I haven't even looked at the views. So Germany's Next Fusion, one of our regulars, has commented that Vincent Vega is one of the most complete quarterbacks he's ever seen. So I think that's a very high compliment, both for Washington State and Vincent Vega.
Tom, I would have to agree. He's a smart quarterback, and I appreciate that.
Coach Spectre says he agrees, and he thanks you. He also agrees and thinks it's a very high compliment and really appreciates it.
He's to the 10. He's tackled at the 12. Washington State's coaching staff, the fans, I think everybody's been waiting to see this kid play, and here he is.
Stellar game last week with 492 yards.
The crowd, I think, senses he's ready to have a big day. And when your star quarterback feels good at playing at home and he gets off to a good start, some big things can happen for this offense.
The quarterback brings his troops out onto the field for the first drive of the game. Empty backfield, quarterback in the gun, 5 wide receivers.
Very nice catch from Jason Voorhees there to really lean back to get that ball, get that short yardage, which is just really important to do early in the game.
It's second down, 8 to go. Ball on the 14-yard line. Up the middle for a nice.
Alan Rickman, isn't he the fullback? He's the backup halfback. I couldn't. Estrada's the fullback. I apologize. Yes, Alan Rickman, the backup halfback in the spread flex, gets 5 yards.
They need about 3 yards to get the first down here on third down.
Coach explaining that, as we can see here, Shore's hands really, really good. That was, really close catch there. But he likes is putting Alan Rickman in a number of spread sets because he's got more speed than Shore.
Simmons is back to receive. Gets it away. It's low.
And a fantastic punt to the far side of the field puts Stanford on the 22-yard line. That is that's an excellent job of putting them in not great field position, considering that Washington State didn't get a first down, and they started at the 12. They kicked from the 22, and they put them on the 22. As we see London get into the backfield, but Lonnie Williams gets the pass off just before he gets tackled. Indeed, Fusion. Part of the problem there was, of course, the defender was right where he wanted to put his arms, and he couldn't quite put his hands in the middle of another man's chest. Now, something spooks Stanford.
Just the middle lapse, but it's going to cost them 5 yards.
Yeah, Coach explaining that he intentionally tried to do that when you're waiting for a spot where he thought they might be snapping and moving laterally to the line of scrimmage, as opposed to towards the line of scrimmage, hoping that would draw the foul, and it did.
It's second down.
As Jeff Simmons gets thrown into the air on second down, making it 3rd and long, despite the fact that he was hit by the defenders coming in as backup. He stood up and managed to get a couple of more yards after the hit while backups came in.
It's 3rd down and 6 to go. Ball on the 26.
As we see great team tackling for the sack on 3rd and long.
Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. And another one gone. And another one gone. Another one bites the dust. Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna get you too. Another one bites the dust. Shoot up.
Excellent team tackling there, as I was saying, and that's why you punt on 4th and inches. You don't want to give up that momentum. As the Jack London return gets excellent field position, 40 yards, not a whole lot of time changed since the first punt by Washington State. And yes, Fusion, I do believe that Vincent Vega is a senior this year. Has been confirmed by Coach Spectre. Vincent Vega was actually a JUCO when Washington State signed him. He was a JUCO athlete, right? Yeah, JUCO athlete when as a JUCO sophomore athlete when Washington State found him, was in a bit of a dire situation, needing to get a quarterback. And coach commenting that really should have slid there, and takes responsibility for the fumble on that down, trying to get a little bit too much with Vincent Vega's feet. Welcome, Tristan. Yes, myself, Coach Ninja, and my colleague here, Coach Spectre, who's actually playing the game. He's Washington State. Stream our games on a weekly basis. We're part of a 7-man league, playing an online dynasty. So you can follow us and expect to see games on a weekly basis, usually a doubleheader, unless one of us has a bye. As Stanford attempts the screen pass on 3rd and 13 and throws it away. Sorry, 2nd and 13. And now it's 3rd and 13. A good deflection there forces the punt, the second punt from Stanford. Well, thank you, Tristan. We appreciate it. We're a small crew, but not many people out there playing NCAA on Twitch. So. Not a whole lot there for Jack London on the return. He tried real hard, but there just weren't blockers there. He was outnumbered. And you can only beat so many men by yourself. So now, not as good field position as last drive, but not as bad as the first drive as Vincent Vega tries to recover from the fumble. And I speak too soon because actually it's John McClain in the game right now. Yeah, and this is raising the question: where is Vincent Vega right now? So we're looking. Coach is looking in injury report. Wants to know what's going on with his star quarterback. Vincent Vega has a mild concussion and is out for the game. This is further going to damage his Heisman standing. He's number 5 in the Heisman right now, but this isn't season-ending, as now we see what coach is going to do with his depth chart. Vincent Vega has on the back of the scrambling and shootout style of Washington State, Vincent Vega has won two consecutive Heismans in the previous 2 seasons. But now we will see John McClain. Sorry, is that right? We'll see John McClain as opposed to other options? And there's the update, just after we got paranoid about it. As we see Alan Rickman there, the 2 backup formation with the backup quarterback and the backup halfback, good for 5 yards on the ground out of the spread flex. Good evening, Lecky.
And that one's incomplete.
He was a little erratic on that pass, but there's no denying that he can.
I think he just joined as we were talking about it. Okay, yeah, Lecky. In case you missed it, Vincent Vega just got a mild concussion and is out for the game. Congratulations, taking Nevada to 4-4. They're hard to come by these days. Fusion. Your best bet is probably looking on eBay. I don't honestly know where to find it these days. I got mine digitally when you could, but that's no longer true. So.
He managed to get enough there to move the chains.
Yep, that's a great effort there by the running back to be able to get the ball upfield and pick up another valuable first down.
Needed that first down there. Now close to field goal range. Yep, GameStop's the other place you'll find it. The price is going up these days because you can't get it online anymore, digitally. I mean. But yeah, the
First down.
needed to get that momentum there as John McClain is now in charge of the offense for Washington State.
Now he tries to buy some time. And they got it. The blitz worked out
But
that play as they got to the
everybody was covered. John McClain scrambled, but couldn't do anything about anything to get positive yardage there.
Second down, 10 to go. Ball on the 37-yard line. Quick out to his receiver. And they make the stop. 26-yard line.
It's a great job here by the quarterback of recognizing.
I honestly don't know the answer to that, Germany. I've never actually tried to buy a hard copy of the game, so I just don't know. I don't think it is, but I think the price is rising in recent years. They're around, but they're not cheap in the United States.
This one's scoreless. We're all tied up, and more action coming, hopefully, here in quarter number 2. They'll line up with 5 wide receivers. He scrambled.
Coach commenting that Vega would have made that, but McClain can't. Not on the run with the defender bearing down on him like that.
Or take off and run with it.
It's 2nd and 10. Ball on the 26. Throws into coverage, is picked off. And he is drilled at the 24.
That was excellent coverage
He
there
has to make better decisions.
for the defender.
He should have known that there was no room to squeeze that ball in there.
Yeah, McClain's pass, not enough on it. Defender came flying in. That's the second turnover for Washington State. No, Spectre is playing, and I, Coach Ninja, am commenting. We're in a competitive league, so
24.
commenting and playing at the same time is a bit too much of a degree of difficulty. As Jeff Simmons breaks a number of tackles to go to 8 yards on first down. A lot of momentum right now in Stanford's favor.
So it's 2nd down and about 2 yards to go. He's to the
Another long rush there from Simmons through some wide open gaps made by his offensive line. As Coach Spectre decides he needs to show something a little different on defense. And this time, the team tackling in the backfield stops Simmons for a loss of 2.
From their own 42-yard line, second down.
And another tackle for loss there, and a clear benefit from Coach Stradamus coaching perk, where he saw before the play happened that across the top of the screen, watch for the inside tackle run, at which point you can audible run middle and key on the back and have a really, really high chance stopping them in the backfield, as we now have 3rd and long.
Now they need to get it inside the 46.
Defense is coming up big on 3rd and 15 to prevent Stanford, and to
Taking care of business every day. Taking care of business every way. I've been taking care of business. It's all mine. Taking care of business and working overtime.
Jack London able to get a couple of more yards by slipping around some guys there. Jumped the gun a little. It wasn't quite a 3-and-out, but it was really important defensive stop there after giving up the pick for Washington, who's been held to Washington State, who's been held to no points. 5 minutes left in the second. As John McClain runs for 8 yards. Out of the flex bone.
It's second down, and they're about 2 yards away from the sticks. And he's tackled at the 47.
This time the handoff to Rickman on 2nd and short gets 11 yards.
From the 47-yard line, first down. They'll spread the field with 5 wide.
And a fantastic spin move from Voorhees turns 6 yards to 10 yards. McClain gets caught in the backfield for a big loss of yardage. 2nd and 18, 4 minutes left in the second.
They find themselves here after that sack at 2nd and long. They come out in a 5-wide set. He's scrambling. Quick throw, incomplete, one to his receiver.
Off target by a couple of yards there means it is now 3rd and 18 from the 45-yard line for John McClain. As this time, rather than trying to go for the scramble, John McClain stands in the pocket, puts the 21-yard pass to Ryan Leaf right on the numbers.
But only he knows the confidence that he has in his wide receiver to have the ability to come down with the football.
Well, taking one for the team there, getting it off and accepting being taken to the ground after he gets rid of the pass. Good team spirit there from John McClain.
From the 25-yard line, it's first down. Got a man, watch out here. Brought down right around the 14.
As we see the stick and nod get another completion to Voorhees. His third for 23 yards, gets the first down. 14 yards to pay dirt now that Washington State is in the red zone again.
This is the 8th play of this drive.
Hands off to Alan Rickman on the triple option to get 7 yards up the gut to be 2nd and 3 from the 7. The triple option out of the split, a big part of a lot of League One playbooks this year.
Number 9 of this current drive.
This time Rickman only able to get 2 yards, but 3rd and 1 is very manageable for the likes of Washington State. As we are now past the 2-minute warning.
Here's play number 10 on the drive. Runs it again, and he stops short of the line.
As Alan Rickman this time is stopped short of the line of scrimmage. Probably even maybe a little bit of a loss of a half a yard there. Make it 4th and 1.
It's 4th down. This isn't much more than an extra point. Washington State could take the lead with this field goal.
Fight, fight, fight for Washington State. Win the victory. Win the day for crimson and gray. Best in the West, we know you'll all do your best. So on, fight till the end. Honor and glory you must win. So fight, fight, fight for Washington State and big victory.
He's to the 20.
The kick by Petey Pablo is good on 4th and 1. Put the first points of the game on the board with just under a minute remaining. Stanford has the ball. We'll see what they can do from the 28-yard line.
In a game that's this close, you can't afford to waste possessions.
Jack London falls at the feet of Lonnie Williams, forcing him to throw out. Not a lot of time off the clock, but costs Stanford a down.
You're not going to be able to make a play, and the defense got you. Just give up on that play and get ready for the next down.
their own 28-yard line. It's second down.
This time, they come real close to getting the pick, and they make it 3rd and 10. Earth, Wind, and Fire there with the tackle to force the punt from Stanford.
Justice is the punter.
Coach noting that Washington State does prioritize defense in recruiting, as Jack London, the cornerback, gets almost to the 50-yard line on the punt return there. 26 seconds and decent field position. We'll see what John McClain can do if he tries anything at the end of the first half here.
Changed on just 1 or 2 plays. Washington State has a 3-point lead.
4 seconds, 12 yards. McClain to Voorhees on the PA power up.
It really puts a lot of pressure on defense. Defense gets caught up and concerned about the running game, and it puts them out of position. And it makes the throwing lanes for the quarterback and the windows that he's trying to find much easier to find for a quarterback and the receivers to pick up big yards like we just saw there.
First down, 10 yards to go. Ball on the 41-yard line. And a nice catch there before he stepped out of bounds.
Runs the PA power again. This time it takes 3 seconds and it gets 15 yards. 19 seconds left to go, 26-yard line.
First down, 10 to go. Ball on the 26-yard line. Tackle at the 23-yard line. The Cougars call a timeout.
Alan Rickman runs the ball, gets 2 yards, but centers the ball in the middle of the field. 15 seconds left in the game. No, sorry, in the half.
It's 2nd and 8. Ball on the 23-yard line. Washington State is up a field goal. Now he's scrambling. He passes it.
So the ball is off target there for John McClain. Ball into the end zone for the slot receiver.
To the 15. And down he goes around the 3-yard line.
As John McClain sneaks in the touchdown to Pauly Shore. The extra point makes it 10-0 Washington State in the first half after an incredible 25-second drive.
I'd be very surprised if he didn't continue to play well.
So the score now, 10-0.
The momentum now
They're ready for the kick.
fairly well in Washington State's favor after a defensive first half.
He just drills this one. And it goes into the
Stanford keeps the ball for a touchback to do a Hail Mary.
So now both teams come trotting back out onto the field. Simmons off the right side, and they make the stop around the 28-yard line. And that'll do it for the first half. 10-0 Cougars.
Yeah.
We played 30
The
minutes
the injury to
playing
Vincent Vega,
on the EA
very
NCAA
massive deal,
football
but as
football
has
halftime
Washington
show
State's
presented
2
by
turnovers.
Innovation that excites.
But their defense has kept them in it as they repeatedly force Stanford to punt, and it does seem, especially with that last drive, he's not Vincent Vega, but I think John McClain might have found his sea legs.
Maybe an upset still in the making here despite the deficit.
Could just be some gas bubbles. You never know in that stomach of yours, Reese. But I think that they can. I think it can. They're a team that it doesn't seem like they're scared of the moment. Has everything gone perfectly? No, but they still look like a team that's they're still swinging. They're not backed in the corner and afraid to swing. It looks like that they're going to fight. They got to put a few more things together. Do you have to catch some breaks? Absolutely. Are things going to have to fall their way in the second half? Yeah, but I think they're a team that they might be a little bit up for the challenge. Maybe you're feeling something there.
David and I will stay locked in on everything going on in college football. Going to wrap it up here in the studio. Just about time to get you out.
After that very stressful first half, we need a quick break for people to run to the restroom and things like that. We're going to leave the stats up and be right back. Yeah.
What would he like to see out of Washington State in the second half minus Vega?
Yeah. We're coming back now. Coach was wondering, Fusion, if if you'd let us know, what are you hoping to see out of Washington State in the second half behind John McClain without the man, the myth, the legend, Vincent Vega.
You've seen McClain overthrow and underthrow.
You've seen McClain overthrow, underthrow, be
10-minute drill. Great.
be really wide, get a 2-minute drill off. I think the thing that made me the most worried about you trying to get that play off in time for the pass to Pauly Shore was the fact that John McClain was the last person to get in position.
Yeah.
Like
They were all ready to go when he got there.
what was he doing? He shouldn't have been the last
Maybe
person.
He got hit the play before.
You're right. Maybe he got hit as he threw. Well, all right. Let's
Does he think that I should run more, pass more?
Yeah. So let us know if you think Washington State should be running the ball more, passing the ball more. What they should be trying to do in this second half. Forced to learn on the fly with John McClain.
He sends this one deep. He's to the 20. Taken down by the kicker.
As the kicker gets the tackle, Petey Pablo, in order to ensure that Stanford's field position on the start of this drive is pretty average.
So predictable. It's made it very easy for this defense to have a dominant game.
There's got to be some sense of urgency to this offense.
Yeah, Germany's just hoping that you can do your best to hold on to the shutout, or keep them as few points as possible, 3 points or something in the second half. As Simmons runs for 9 yards. He doesn't have a great average, 3.3. That brings it up. He was 2 point something before. But he's the one part of the Stanford's offense that does seem to be working is Simmons.
Here. Second down and 1. Counter, right side.
As he trucks one defender, but that holds Simmons up for long enough that the next two guys tackle him short of the first down. Remains 1 yard to go. Now it's third down.
It's third down, and this offense is about 3 feet away from that first down marker. He's taken down right around the 36.
Excellent team tackling, excellent domination of the line of scrimmage there. Forces the 4th and 1.
Justice awaits the snap. London takes it at the 23. Room around the corner. He makes it out to maybe the 46-yard line.
Another excellent punt return. There's really excellent blocking there. Allows Jack London to return for 23 yards.
Well, the guys are chomping at the bit down there, waiting for the game to start back up. Scrambling around. Down at the 47-yard line.
A good scramble there from McClain, as everybody was really closely covered. So, funnily enough, Germany, during halftime, Coach made the observation to me that was absolutely his intention, to keep the ball on the ground for the rest of the game, maintain this 2-score lead, and we see him playing traditional run and gun Washington State football.
They need about 3 yards to get the first here on second down. Takes it to the 45-yard line. Short yardage situation here. It's 3rd and 1. Throws complete. He's got room to work. He's knocked down by
An easy pass to Ryan Leaf, and does a good job of stopping from going out of bounds and getting extra yardage after the first down on 3rd and short. A smart 3rd down play by John McClain.
from the 36-yard line. First down. He's tackled at the 35-yard line.
John McClain only able to get 1 yard there on the quarterback run.
From the 35-yard line. Second down.
Ooh, a dangerous throw there. Lucky that it was only dropped, because the defender could have gotten a much better hand on that.
Third down now, and they need to get it to the 26. There are 5 wide receivers split out. The quarterback in the gun. He scrambled. Fires incomplete.
This quarterback needs to give his playmakers a chance to make plays.
Another pass on the run is off the mark from John McClain. It's now 4th and 9. As Washington State sends out Kendrick Lamar instead of P.D. Pablo for the long field goal.
They'll call on the field goal unit. The kick is away. It's long enough, and he splits.
And Kendrick Lamar gets the 52-yard field goal to put Washington State up 13-0 against number 26 Stanford. Yeah, he got it. That was a very, very good kick from Kendrick Lamar.
Fight, fight, fight for Washington State. Win the victory. Win the day for Crimson and Gray. Best in the West, we know you'll all do your best. So on, fight till the end. Honor and glory you must win. So fight, fight, fight for Washington State and big victory.
Washington State kick this one off. And he got all of this one. Great kick. This one's going to be down in the end zone for a touchback. The offense will be hoping for a little more success than they had the last time out.
If they're going to make a comeback in this game, it's going to have to start now. This offense has to get rolling.
And he hits him hard at the 21.
Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. And another one gone. And another one gone. Another one bites the dust. Hey, I'm gonna get to two. Another one bites the dust. Shoot up.
They come up to the line here. It's second down and 14 after the sack.
A great start for Washington State, getting the sack on the first play of the drive. Follows it up by stopping Simmons for only 2 yards, making it 3rd and 12. The screen pass goes for a loss of yardage, forcing another punt from Stanford. That's the second time we've seen them go to the screen pass on 3rd and long.
Justice is the punter. London takes it at the 43, gets to about the 47-yard line.
London gets only 10 yards this time, but still on the Stanford side of the field.
Quarterback leads the offense back out onto the field.
I'm not sure what you mean, Tristan. I mean, do we like to play as them, or are we fans of their team in real life? I have avoided playing an SEC team mainly because it's not easy to get jobs at Alabama. And I really didn't want to come in as, for example, Vanderbilt at the bottom of the SEC and have to make a go of it uphill like that. That said, many times in previous years, Coach Spectre has taken the helm of Alabama. Oh, sorry, not Auburn, Alabama, Auburn, and done fantastic things with Auburn. So he definitely enjoys playing in the SEC and is a lot more willing to take that risk than I am.
It's all about chipping away at the defense. Even short yardage completions can have a way of building a...
Hey, rbark, as you can see, clock's running, but a minute left to go in the third. And then after that, we'll be able to kick off the second game of our doubleheader this evening is myself, Coach Ninja, playing rbark, who has just joined chat. He is Purdue.
2nd and 11 coming up now. Ball on the 48-yard line. He might have a chance.
Also worth noting, I guess, much to Coach Spectre's consternation, after year 1 of our online dynasty, one of his coordinators was offered the Tennessee job instead of him. He was very much chagrined, wanted the Tennessee job very badly. A massive play there. A fantastic play from Ryan Leaf. Let's not pretend that was the best. That
That's the perfect amount of air underneath it because it had to hang up there to get
it was absolutely the right length, but it was off target, and Leaf made a good adjustment to come for it.
Exactly where I went to put it the whole time.
Really?
How many times do you see me make that pass?
I see you make that pass. I see you that pass being a yard more inside the field than that is usually.
I had to put it out there. I mean, whether it's a yard after 50 yards, that's asking a heck of a lot there.
I understand. I'm just.
That was exactly what I meant to do.
I understand it was exactly what you meant to do, but my point was there was a significant.
Overanalyze a 50-yard game.
No, that's fair. I'm just saying there was a lot more. A Lion.
I'm a nitpick and give it a B-. It's a 50-yard fucking game.
I was saying Ryan Leaf.
Last time you got a 50-yard game.
I don't do it very often. I was saying Ryan Leaf did a lot more on that play than he usually does. That's what I was trying to say.
So it's second down and about 2 yards to go. Now he's scrambling. And he throws it away.
And a smart throwaway there from John McClain with the defenders bearing down on him. Has another chance at 3rd and 2.
And once again, they'll come to the line trying to convert on 3rd down.
As Hannibal Lecter gets the 2-yard reception, turns it into 6 yards there to make it 1st and goal from the 5 for John McClain. 5 minutes 40 left in the 4th.
It's 1st down, and they'll be looking for 6 points here.
Alan Rickman gets the 5-yard touchdown run as Coach Spectre notes that Stanford has had a single 1st down the entire game. We have not done.
By the power of Grayskull. Cringer became the mighty Battle Cat, and I became He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe. Only 3 others share this secret.
Cats lead it by 7.
20-0, our score in this one. The kicker looks like he's ready to kick this one off.
Another interesting stat from the game, an uncharacteristic, I believe, well, it was 3 and 7 at the beginning of this drive, and no, either 3 or 4 out of 7. It's now either 4 or 5 out of 8 on 3rd down for Washington State, which is below their usual average for 3rd down conversions. They don't tend to see a lot of 3rd downs. They're seeing more this game because McClain is here, but an interesting game because McClain is in it from Washington State. As Stanford comes up with a very tough contested catch.
2 or 3 guys are coming right at him. I think this young passer has proven that yes, he can.
That is the second first down of Stanford's game. I don't know that it proves anything. Stanford yet to cross the 50, and now a penalty on first down to get first and 15.
First and 15 now after the penalty. He's going to try and scramble, looking for the corner. And they make the stop at the 42. So the quarterback scrambles for about 2 yards on the play.
Solid stop there by the corner on that one. I'll tell you, I love to see a cornerback willing.
I thought I was. You said it.
Second and 14. Ball on the 42. Here comes the pressure. He's taken down around the 44-yard line.
Back-to-back forced scrambles for poor yardage make it third and long.
Quick throw out to the receiver, incomplete.
That's a real danger. If he leaves too many passes short like that, sooner or later they're going to end up in the wrong set of hands.
Another rushed pass into the grass. And now Stanford is forced to go for it on 4th and 11 because there are only 4 minutes left to go in the game. And the ball is deflected and turned over on downs.
Not much you can do there. You got to go.
Both teams are well aware that a score on this drive is going to create an almost insurmountable lead. This defense has really got to step it up and make a stop.
Rickman with some great cuts inside 2nd and 2. Tick tock, tick tock.
It's second down, and they're about 2 yards away from the sticks. They'll spread the field here. Let's see what the defense does with a 5-wide outlook. Pulls it in, and he's in the open field. Down, right around the 32-yard line.
Yeah, Washington State 3 minutes away from the shutout now.
First down, 10 to go. Ball on the 32. Just
Yeah.
under 3 to go in regulation.
John McClain gets hung up in the backfield for a loss
Better job of not only handling the defensive linemen, but
as the defenders get off their blocks.
that way the ball carriers will have a little bit more that second level.
But
Second down at 12. Ball on the 34-yard line. He scrambled. And they get the sack.
Sometimes it's just a relentless pass rush that results in a sack. That's what happened there.
That's why I didn't throw the man. I thought I could have everything because it was shot to start.
And now, 3rd and very long for Washington State. Try and keep possession of this ball with 1:40 left to go.
Empty backfield, quarterback in the gun, 5 wide receivers. And that looked like a pretty good move as they called timeout before the play clock ran out. Third and long now after the sack.
What the fuck? I
Tries to
called
fit
timeout.
in there, they'll be intercepted.
After they heated up, what the fuck kind of route was that? A horrible route.
That was perfect coverage against a pretty good route.
And
It's all over that pass.
Just kind of.
Coach Spectre very disappointed in the cut there that leads to the pick. We'll see what, if anything, Stanford can do in 1:13 from their own 40.
From their own 40-yard line. First down. Just over a minute in the fourth quarter. And he's going to come up with a sack. And for London, number 2.
Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. And another one gone. And another one gone. Another one bites the dust. Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna get to do. Another one bites the dust. Shoot
Because he doesn't have any time to throw the ball. That's
Back-to-back sacks makes it 3rd and 21. Real bad spot for Stanford, just trying to put points on the board in this game.
So the sack makes this third.
Stanford 0 out of 7 on 3rd down.
He sails it low.
And Ginsburg gets the deflection, stops the clock with 51 seconds, 4th and 21. 21 yards passing from Stanford. I don't. They had 18 yards of total offense at halftime. I don't know what they've got now, but it's not good. And they came into this game 4 and 1.
Tackle at the 49. Not a bad return.
Another good return from London. 41 seconds left on the clock. We'll see what.
And you've got to wonder if that last interception's weighing on the quarterback's mind at all.
anytime you give the ball away, it's a disappointment. So these guys want to show that they can hang on to it.
Scrambling around. Laying it out there. He's got his man beat.
Jack London, the cornerback, with the reception for 43 yards after the scramble out of the pocket by John McClain. Clock is moving at 30 seconds, 8 yards to pay dirt.
First down, and they've got their eyes on that goal line. They come out in an empty backfield. He's scrambling. Heading for the corner.
And John McClain beginning to look like the man, the myth, the legend, with a scramble touchdown, 8 yards, 15 seconds left, and now 26, soon to be 27 to nothing Washington State.
And he hits the PAT. Here's an update from the studio and restate.
Check out what's going on in Madison.
An upset, one of many we've seen this week. Northwestern over number 21 Wisconsin,
7-point win. It's 27-0 here.
keeping the Big Ten West interesting.
And it looks like they're ready for the kickoff. He really got a hold of that kick. This one's going to be down in the end zone.
So a tremendous defensive stand throughout the game from Washington State. To date, and they only have 15 seconds to do it and need to get 25 yards. Stanford has not been on the opponent's side of the field yet. It is a shutout. It is a ridiculous defensive performance as the faceback gives 15 yards to Stanford to try and help him out, but 15 yards are not points. Puts him on the 42-yard line, still 58 yards away from points. 12 seconds left to go, and with two fullbacks on the field, it doesn't really look like they're trying to get the Hail Mary in.
42-yard line. First down. The halfback with a carry. He's at midfield. He gets hit out of bounds. The 44
Coach is saying his manual play there is what screwed that up, as Stanford has now crossed the 50, but with 7 seconds left to go, only 2 timeouts. Shutout still within sight for Washington State.
They'll bring him down.
4 seconds left, second and inches
Use their second timeout of the half.
from the 34-yard line. They have Stanford not yet bringing out their kicker.
And they're only about a foot away from picking up the first down.
And they get tackled for loss and eat up all the clock. That is the unicorn. That is the shutout. Washington State over Stanford.
Coaching staff, Kirk, do they start wondering, hey, are we going to have trouble?
Yeah, for a anemic offensive performance and an incredible defensive performance. Tale of two teams.
The game plan because their star didn't deliver. I think that would be a big mistake.
That does it for this edition of NCAA Football 14. For Kirk Herbstreit, I'm Brad Nessler.
All right.
So long.
32 in a row for Washington State.
They survive the absence of Vega.
Surviving the absence of Vega. We'll see him back next game after a mild concussion. But we also really saw a good game from John McClain and a well-managed game, knowing that McClain doesn't necessarily have the same weapons as Vincent Vega, being a true quarterback scrambler as opposed to Vega's athlete. So what we're going to do is get this in the books, get a hard drive swapped, and get ready to play a user-user game between Penn State, me, Coach Ninja, and Coach rbark of Purdue. $55 yards of total offense for Stanford in this game. 21 yards passing, 0 for 8 on third down. Although 6 for 10 on third down from Washington State is good, but not as good as they usually are.
That was like a blue collar punching
as we see, that's not a big upset. It's a big game between TCU and but yes, number 15 LSU losing to Texas Tech is a big upset. A lot of upsets this week.
Careful.
Yeah.
Practice episode.
A bit. All right, ladies and gents, you'll bear with us for 5 minutes. We will have a quick intermission before the second of our doubleheader.
EA Sports. It's in the game.
All right, and now we will take a quick look at Purdue's depth chart so that we can get kicked off here. All right. A quality overall quarterback at 93, but with only 68 speed, he is not a rusher. Quality at halfback to the tune of he's averaging 100 yards a game in his games so far, and another 22 receiving, I should say, and then another good halfback right behind him who's helping out. He's not getting touches, he's just backing up. Okay. Quality fullback, receiving a couple of times, once a game. Looks like it is the 24. It is Mr. Lowry, the impact player, who's getting most of the passing yardage probably out of a slot, as well as 15 yards to the tight end. So it seems to be most of the passing is to Lowry and Gant in the slots. Offensive line is 84, 83, 82, 80, 85. Reasonable offensive line for the Big Ten. Defense has an 89 impact player at left end and an 84 right end. D tackles are an 86 and a 79. Linebackers 87, 90, 83. Corners 91, 84, 79. We have Patterson playing free safety at an 80. Where does he come from? Patterson is the third corner, and he is playing starting free safety. And Cowan, a free safety, is playing out of position at strong safety and is playing at a 75. So both of those guys suffer from awareness problems, but make up for it with a little bit of athleticism in order to keep them at 80 and 75. And then a young leg here in Cox, and that rounds out Purdue. And now that I'm getting this game started, I'm going to hand over to Coach Spectre for the play-by-play. You're standing on the court.
atmosphere here at Ross-Ade Stadium is electrifying as these fans are going crazy for the start.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We've got another Penn State Classic coming to you live from Ross-Ade Stadium in Indiana, where rbark's Purdue Boilermakers will host the 24th ranked Penn State Nittany Lions, led by Coach Ninja. This is yours truly, Coach Spectre. I just got done playing the Washington State game. Going to give you the play-by-play here as we bring you a user game here in Season 10 of League 1.
He really got a hold of that kick. He's to the 20, makes it to the 22-yard line.
Britt gets it out to the 22-yard line towards the left hash mark where Penn State will take over for the opening drive of the football game.
Now the offense gets ready to take their first crack at it.
Penn State coming out in the twin tight end ISO. It's stuffed for a loss of 1. It's going to be 2nd and 11 on Penn State's 21-yard line. Just seconds gone in the game.
Second down and 11 yards to the sticks. Ball on the 21.
Penn State back out in the twin tight end set.
Pass out to the tight end, but it's
An inaccurate throw by Williams on his first throw of the game. It's going to bring up 3rd and 11. The receiver was open. He had room to wiggle. Might have gotten a little bit more out of that one. 2 or 3 yards here and there adds up. Instead, it's 3rd and long. rbark on defense, Ninja on offense.
third and 11. Ball on their own 21.
That's a first down to the superstar, Cole Robinson. He is a 99 overall redshirt senior. Could have gone to the draft last year. Would have been a highly touted, highly drafted prospect. Instead, he comes back to Happy Valley to dress up for the Nittany Lions as a 99 overall senior. Makes a hell of a catch there in traffic. Falls forward. Gets the first down. A key conversion here in the early going to try to get Penn State a little bit of that momentum.
First down, 10 to go. Ball on their own 33.
Handoff up the gut this time. Big hole. Harrison with a 12-yard gain. Cuts like a knife through the Purdue defense. The rain coming hard and fast here at Purdue in Indiana. Nittany Lions breaking the huddle. Back out in their twin tight end set. Harrison in the backfield. Purdue with a 3-man front. Guesses run to the right. An overthrow on the part of Penn State. James Williams, 1 for 3 so far. Had the 12-yard completion on third down. We've got second down now. Ball at the Penn State 45-yard line. Just 1 minute and 32 seconds gone in the game so far.
So it's 2nd and 10. Ball on the 45-yard line.
Williams back to pass. Throws into coverage. It is intercepted by Purdue. He's running out to the 35, to the 30, the 25. Brought down by Cole Robinson at about the 25-yard line. A big return by Purdue off a defensive turnover there is going to give them excellent field position at the Penn State 25-yard line here in the early goings of the game. We'll see what the vaunted Penn State defense comes out with on their first play on the field. There's a lot of angry men in white right now.
Ball on the 25. He fights forward to about the 23.
2-yard gain by Hamilton up the gut. Gets things started for the Purdue offense. We looked at the rosters before. They do have a couple of good personnel at halfback. Some seniors in that backfield for Purdue at both the quarterback and halfback position. They now face 2nd and 8. Ball on about the right hash mark for Purdue. You see them coming out. They're going to have 2 wide receivers, a fullback, a halfback, and a tight end. What is Penn State going to line up in here?
It's 2nd and 8.
It's a 3-man front. Looks like a 3-3-5 as Purdue comes out with the fullback on 2nd and 8. Spreads him out wide. Fullback in the slot now into a shotgun set. The run is stuffed up the middle.
25-yard line.
Purdue showed pass on the audible, then ran it up the gut, but Penn State wasn't fooled. It's going to be 3rd and long here at the 25-yard line, 3rd and 11. Purdue trying to stay in field goal range following the big turnover near midfield. Penn State gets the stop, holds them to a 2-yard gain. It's going to be 4th and 9 at the 24-yard line. About halfway through the first quarter here. We'll see what Purdue elects to do here in the early goings. Taking their time to make the decision. Out comes the field goal unit with only 13 seconds left. We'll see if they can get set up in time.
4th down. They're going to try a long field goal.
Not a whole lot of time to aim it, but they are dead center of the field.
This field goal.
Should be just about like a kickoff here for the Boilermakers to take an early 3-0 lead. It is good through the pipes. Penn State pays for the turnover, but doesn't pay full price, giving up 3 points. They're going to get the ball back here about halfway through the first quarter.
Looks like they're ready for the kick. Britt fields it at the 1. Brought down at the 18-yard line.
The 18-yard line is where this next drive starts for the Nittany Lions, coming out of the shadow of their own goalposts. They're going to look to tie this up or take the lead here on this drive, give some sort of a response to Purdue's scoring drive on that last possession. That, of course, was a short field. Purdue didn't have to move the ball that far to get some points. They moved it about 20 yards, mostly on the interception return. Penn State was able to stop them once they made the tackle on the return. Good first down play here for 8 yards off to the right side. That's going to set them up for second and short. Every coach's favorite situation. Gives you all the freedom in the world to run or pass or spread the field, tighten it up. All options available here on 2nd and 2.
So it's 2nd down and about 2 yards to go.
Williams under center again, and the 2 tight ends set. Purdue in a 3-man front, 3-3-5. Oki has bodies in the middle of the field, holds them to a yard gain. It's going to be 3rd and 1. Penn State on their own 27-yard line on the right hash of the field. A little bit overcast here, obviously, with the rain coming down. Almost looks like a heavy fog here in Ross-Ade Stadium. You start thinking about a little drizzle of a rain. You start thinking about cornerbacks and defensive backs slipping in coverage because they don't know where the cuts are going to happen. Becomes a little bit tougher for the offensive line to get traction. Running backs might not hold on to the ball so well. Williams gets sacked for a loss of 8. It's going to be 4th and 9. Didn't want to throw into coverage and throw another pick. Purdue's going to get the ball, but this time Penn State gets to add 40 yards onto that total following a punt here.
Jackson back deep to return.
High flyer back to about the 30-yard line. He catches it on the run. Purdue with a run back out to the 50-yard line, just to the other side of the midfield stripe. They're going to take over at about Penn State's 47-yard line here on the left hash mark. And we'll see who's going to win the line of scrimmage on the next series of downs. Going to be hard visibility from up in those luxury boxes here at Ross-Ade Stadium. Paying premium dollar for not a whole lot of visibility. I imagine they'll be perfectly happy with the wine selection and the cheese and cracker table.
They come out in an empty backfield.
A sack on Penn State's behalf.
That's one of those as an offensive line.
Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. And another one gone. And another one gone. Another one bites the dust. Hey, gonna get to two. Another one bites the dust. Shoot up.
That is going to set up Purdue with a long 2nd and 18. It'll be interesting to see what they do here. Whether they go for broke, or they try to get half, or they try to get just a little bit. There's
Defense looking for another sack in this 2nd down and long situation.
a lot of curiosity here with what Purdue's going to call. They've got 2 halfbacks in the backfield, 3 wide receivers split out, and 5 offensive linemen. Some crossing routes, and it gets picked off over the middle. A careless pass into heavy coverage. I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, the Nittany Lions had all the bodies in the right places on that play right there. Heavy traffic in the middle. Purdue went for some crossing routes of about a 5-yard distance. And Penn State had multiple bodies in the middle of the field. The linebacker making the pick. And now it's Penn State's turn to start on the right side of the 50-yard line. We'll see if they get a field goal or more or less.
He's tackled at about the 43-yard line.
3-yard gain by Harrison up the gut. It's going to set up 2nd and 7 as we watch the final seconds of the quarter tick away. There's going to be time for 1 or 2 more plays here, depending on the flow of the football game, as Penn State looks to tie things up.
From the 43-yard line, it's 2nd down.
42-yard line. It's a shotgun wide trip set. Purdue's got 3 down linemen.
There's a strike complete. They'll bring him down.
Covers the right side of the field on the slant. They gust a run to the right. It's 3rd and 3 now. Is one of these two football teams going to stay with the same play? Are they both going to change it up? Who's going to guess correctly now on 3rd down?
What the hell?
An inaccurate throw. Williams now 3 for 7 with a pick. He did have that interception. Maybe didn't quite have enough passes to get him warmed up. It's a 55-yard attempt. I'm not quite exactly sure what direction the wind's headed in. That is not an impossible kick. It is an improbable kick. If you miss it, you give up 7 yards of field position. So from the 38-yard line, going to be interesting to see. Yeah, as Penn State comes out in the punt formation, they're going to look to pin Purdue deep.
If he gets it where he wants, it can really change the field position in this football game. He punts it away. It's a high kick. How about that decision?
That was not a good play call. 4th and short with your team in this.
Hung up in the air, a little bit high. It's going to be a 26-yard line there, as Purdue takes over here in the early goings of the 2nd quarter. 1st and 10 for the Boilermakers. But now they've got a little bit longer to go than last time to get points on the board. We'll see if Purdue's up to the task. Penn State going to respond to a 4 wide receiver set here with that 3-3-5 formation.
Here's a step in the maturation of a young quarterback.
They've got him split on the front. First play of the 2nd quarter. 2nd play of the 2nd quarter. Back to pass. Some pressure. Catches it just in between about 5 defenders. Found a pinprick of a spot there in the coverage. The ball looked like it hung up in the air for a little bit long. But Purdue able to come up with a huge conversion there. We'll look to see if that gives them any kind of momentum as they check that. I thought he made the catch. That was a drop. It's going to be 2nd and 10. That could have been a huge play for Purdue. They're still looking for their first big offensive play. They have yet to get a 1st down. Hung up early, but able to break free. Gets close to the line of scrimmage there. It's going to be 3rd and short. Third and 1. We'll see what each of these teams do.
It's 3rd down, and this offense is about 3 feet away from that 1st down marker.
Penn State with a 3-man front as Purdue comes out in the I formation. The fullback gets the ball up the gut, but unable to get the 1st down. There's a flag on the play. Let's check that out.
Flag is about here. Let's go down to the field and find out.
Clipping penalty. Does he want 3rd and 16 or 4th and 1? That's a tricky decision.
Yeah, he might go I guess I took too long.
One on the play. That'll bring up 4th and 1.
Coach took a bit long to make the decision. The computer selected the one that the cursor was on. When time ran out, it selects to decline the penalty. 4th and 1, but it pays off as Purdue punts the football. They're going to come out in the punt formation. They make the wise decision, the coach's decision.
Minor awaits the snap.
Following the coach's handbook. Purdue with the lead. Not wanting to disrupt the equilibrium that is momentum. Gives the ball back to Penn State. They receive at the 20-yard line up to the 30. Out to about the 35-yard line. They're going to take over at their own 33.5-yard line. Out on the left hash. Penn State looking for their first points of the game. Looking at 67 yards of field in front of them.
Momentum swings have been fairly even. And with so little separation, this game can be drastically changed on just 1 or 2 plays. Release, tight end, incomplete. The defense got some pressure and forced a bad pass.
I think they've been a little bit more aggressive here with their pass rush, and that time it paid off with an incompletion.
Second down, 10 yards to go. Ball on the 30.
Boilermakers coming out in the 4-man front. As Penn State in the shotgun wide trips. Now Purdue audibling on defense. Out to a 3-man front. As the defensive end drops back into a linebacker position.
He makes it to the 35-yard.
2-yard gain up the middle is going to bring up 3rd and 8. .35-yard line, the marker. Purdue with the lead.
3rd and 8.
Penn State with the football.
They'll spread the field here. Let's see what the defense does with a 5-wide outlook.
Gets the throw off.
He's got the first.
Huge conversion.
48-yard line. That makes it 1st and 10. First down, 10 to go. Ball on their own 48.
The ball just to the side of the midfield stripe. Penn State out in the shotgun big. It's a triple option play up the gut. Carter with the handoff.
That was a good play by the halfback. Picked up about 5 yards on the option.
He's going to set up 2nd and 5 as Penn State travels into Purdue territory.
From the 47-yard line. It's 2nd down.
2nd and 5. The shotgun wide trips for the Nittany Lions. 3-man front.
Quick out to his receiver. Brought down around the 43-yard line. 4 yards on that play.
Defender with the big hit. Sticks the receiver 2 yards shy of the first down. It's going to be 3rd down at the 43-yard line. Penn State just a little bit out of field goal range at this point. They're going to need at least one more first down if they're hoping to get points off of this drive. Purdue defense, what are they going to come out with here? We have yet to stop Penn State on this drive. The ball having traveled from the Penn State 37-yard line. Big 3rd and 2 coming here. Robinson unable to hang on. Gets stuck. It's going to be 4th and 2 at the 43-yard line. Penn State coming out in the 5 wide set.
There are 5 wide receivers split out. The quarterback in the gun. He goes out of bounds.
Makes the catch, but doesn't get the first down. His momentum takes him out of bounds about a half a yard shy. Not even. It's at the 43 still. They're going to call no gain on that play. He caught it about a half a yard shy, but looked like he was running backwards even then. And Purdue is going to take over at their own 43-yard line. Ahead 3-0. 3 minutes and 36 seconds remaining in the second quarter. We're about halfway through the second period here. The Boilermakers clinging to a 3-point lead, but now have the football near the midfield stripe. Coming out the twin tight end set. It's a sweep out to the outside, but Penn State's defense is ready for it. They contain it to only 2 yards. Purdue unable to turn the corner there on that play. Penn State now with a 2nd and 8. That's a manageable distance. We'll look to see what they do on defense. They're awaiting the information from Purdue to see what kind of personnel they have in the huddle there. You know, they'll show that to you there in the middle of the screen. There, it pops up there. You got a quarterback, a halfback, 3 wide receivers, and a tight end. That's a pass-heavy formation.
Second down.
You still have the halfback, though. That's a pistol set there for Purdue. Halfback stays into pass block. The receiver out on the sideline picks up a block, gets an extra couple of yards after the catch. Crosses the midfield stripe, and Purdue now on Penn State's 41-yard line. 2:59 remaining in the second quarter.
First and 10. Ball on the 41.
Purdue out of the pistol again. Penn State ready for it again. The run up the gut gets nothing. In fact, gets less than nothing, a yard less than nothing. And now Purdue will face 2nd and 11 on the Penn State 42-yard line. The Nittany Lions defense stiffening just a bit there, setting the tone possibly for this series of downs, but that remains to be seen here as Purdue has shown a little bit more fight than we expected out of them. Experts predicted this would be a multiple score game, a multiple score win potentially for the favorites, the ranked football team, the more experienced football team. And of course there's a lot of football left to be played. We'll see how that experience plays out on either sideline here. Purdue with the early lead here now, facing 2nd and long though. A test on this drive. They take a chunk of it back and they set up themselves with a 3rd and approachable. Getting 6 yards on the 2nd down play. Down to the 36-yard line, potentially just outside field goal range. Not exactly sure about Purdue's kicker here. If they've got an average kicker, then about maybe the 30-yard line would be the distance for your typical Big Ten kicker. I don't believe that Purdue has a stud kicking for them. Obviously, he's already made a field goal, so he's warmed up a little bit. He's got a little bit of that personal momentum. That'll count for something if he needs to make an attempt here from distance. Almost intercepted, almost caught, indeed was caught, / almost caught. That was about the closest play to date in this football game. It comes down in favor of Purdue. They'd get the conversion. They're down to the 30-yard line, and barring a turnover, we'll look to put some kind of points on this board, although they still have 3 timeouts. That clock's moving at 1 minute and 10 seconds. Now they've got their play in, but the clock's running at this point. Still with 3 timeouts, Purdue. Gets the loss there. Still no timeout from Purdue, even though the non-first down play takes a few seconds off that clock. They're in the huddle looking at plays, and that clock's ticking down. I'm not sure if they're aware of that at this point. They bring out the 5 wide receivers, but 15 seconds or so came off after the tackle. 16, 17, 18 seconds. Going for broke. Purdue perhaps trying to lull Penn State into a false sense of security without calling those timeouts, and then trying to catch Penn State asleep. The Nittany Lions secondary responding, though, to the long throw into the end zone. And now on 3rd and 10, 27 seconds remaining. Purdue's going to need a conversion here. Are they going to be faced with a long kick? Gets the completion into the first down marker inside the 20. Purdue finally uses a timeout. They stop the clock. The clock was already stopped with the first down play. You could have spiked the ball there, saved your timeout. Coach's handbook will tell you you generally want to call your timeouts when the clock is moving, as opposed to a play that results in a stop of the clock. But Purdue does discover the timeout button here with 23 seconds remaining. They're at the 18-yard line. Penn State Nittany Lions desperately hoping to keep them out of the end zone and hold them to only 3. It's a slim 3-0 lead so far for the Boilermakers. A turnover here would be massive. There's still work to be done on both sides of the ball here.
From the 18-yard line, it's first down.
18-yard line, right hash. Purdue coming out with 4 wide receivers and a halfback. Penn State in a 3-3-5. Both teams change up their sets prior to the snap. It's a blitz by Penn State. An off-target throw resulting from the blitz. Purdue placed under pressure, having to get rid of the ball quickly. Fortunate that thing hits the turf in open field. Another 4 wide receivers with a halfback. We'll see how Penn State responds. They've got the 3-3-5 set up.
Purdue is up by 3.
A run by Purdue. He gets the first down to the 5-yard line. 16 seconds remaining. Purdue uses their second timeout. There's now 16 seconds, 1 timeout, 6-yard line, 1st and goal. You figure Purdue's got at least 2 plays, even if one of them is a sack.
11th play of this drive.
Purdue out in the I formation. Play action pass. Back to throw. Gets sacked. 11 seconds. 10 seconds. Still no timeout from Purdue. Finally, a timeout from Purdue with 8 seconds remaining. Second and goal from the 16-yard line. You figure Coach rbark might be looking at, well, I don't want to speculate because that might come in handy for the Penn State coach Ninja, who's sitting right next to me at this moment. I am just the commentator, not an assistant coach. Two users here facing off in Season 10 of League 1. Ninja coaching the 24th ranked Penn State Nittany Lions. rbark coaching Purdue. He is going to go for the field goal attempt here with 8 seconds and no timeouts. Doesn't want to risk the sack. Tacks on the 3 points with 5 seconds remaining. 6-0 Purdue.
They can take a halftime lead by taking this one all the way back, folks. And he got all of this one. Great kick. And it goes into the end zone, down for a touchback.
5 seconds left on the clock. Penn State at their own 25-yard line.
Momentum swings have been fairly even, and with so little separation, this game can be drastically.
Purdue in the quarter, 3-man deep. Penn State with the Hail Mary play. Purdue running back a super safety man prior to the snap and then runs him forward 5 yards. Fakes the blitz from 20 yards away from the line of scrimmage. Incompletion there. We've got halftime. Well, that was a completion. They caught that ball. They won't count for anything other than yardage. 6-0 Purdue ahead. Penn State gets the big play right before the half. That will, as Coach says, warm up the quarterback slightly. Purdue's going to start the second half with the football. Looking to pull off the upset here at home. Coach rbark stopping in to say hi here at halftime.
Boy, I hope the second half's as good as the first. Just about set to start the third quarter in a tight one.
As Penn State kicks off, Purdue to receive deep in their own end zone. We'll look to see what they may or may not call here.
Set to start things up again. Purdue up 6.
The read option stuffed there at the line of scrimmage. Purdue's first play of the second half goes for a loss of 3. The Penn State Nittany Lions defense responding there on the first play.
It's 2nd and 13. Ball on their own 22.
Purdue out in another pistol set. Twin tight ends to the left side.
And they push him out around the
Penn State defense shoves him out of bounds. It's going to be 3rd and 3.
third down, and they're going to need about 3 yards to pick up the first down.
3rd and 3. Purdue again in a pistol set. Halfback up the middle. Gets the first down. It's going to be a fresh set of downs for the Boilermakers. They move the ball out to their own 36-yard line.
From their own 36-yard line. First down. Purdue with a 6-point lead. Brought down after a nice run up the middle. Hamilton gains around 5 yards.
Purdue with a 5-yard gain. Out to their 41-yard line. That's going to set up 2nd down here in the early goings of the 3rd quarter.
From their own 41-yard line. 2nd down.
Coach rbark coming out with the shotgun. No, sorry, the pistol set. Multiple wide receivers. Ninja coming out with the 3-3-5. Defenders there. Gets the loss. A gain of only 1. Bodies in the middle of the field, though, prevent much momentum for Purdue. It's going to be 3rd down now again for the Boilermakers. Their 2nd 3rd down in a row. They're out to their 42-yard line here in the early goings of the 3rd quarter in a user game of Season 10 of League 1 action.
They're about 4 yards away here on 3rd down.
Going to see 3 tight ends here for Purdue. Penn State responding with a 3-3-5 bear front.
Looks like he flinched.
It's going to be a false start.
It'll be 3rd down again after that penalty.
False start now, 3rd and distance.
For the first down.
Costly penalty there for the Boilermakers. We'll see if that results in any kind of probabilities. Another big 3rd down coming here. Again out of the pistol set. 3 tight ends. It's a play action.
Gets it to his
Tight end makes a clutch catch in traffic. I know for a fact that tight end has phenomenal hands. I believe he's got 98 catching and 98 catch in traffic. So I'm not too surprised that he was able to hang on to that one. He is a go-to guy for this Purdue offense. Not too different from the Penn State mold. Penn State also a tight end focused school. Purdue is by necessity. Penn State is mostly by choice.
From their own 48-yard line. First down. Purdue is up by 6.
It's a twin tight end pistol this time.
The offense didn't get the play off in time.
It's going to be a delay of game. A surprise there.
Penalty will move them back a bit.
Going to back up the offense 5 yards. Back to their own 43-yard line. We'll see if they come out in the pistol again. Purdue coming out in the pistol set or some variation thereof for about the last 10 plays in a row. This time it's a shotgun set. They break the streak. 1st and 15. Clutch catch under heavy rush. Converts on 1st and 15. That's a big gain through the air for the Boilermakers. Taking the ball down to the Penn State 40-yard line.
Here's the 8th play of the series. And he's tackled right around the 42-yard line.
Loss of 3. Tackled well and truly in the backfield. The Penn State defense stiffening on that play there.
It's the 9th play of the drive. Purdue up 6. Across the middle, and it's incomplete.
Incomplete pass. That could have been a sack. That could have been a successful bomb. That could have been a lot of good things for either team. As it stands, no one was hurt too terribly awfully, although Purdue would beg to differ with the loss of a down. Now facing 3rd and 13 from the Penn State 42-yard line, looking to at least get back in field goal range and stretch this thing out to a more than 1-score lead here in the 3rd quarter. Can't take too many risks, though, because all it would take would be one turnover, one big play by the Penn State defense, and this game could get turned on its head. Going to be just shy. Another tough decision here for Purdue. They've got an opportunity right here to stretch this thing out to a multiple score lead, but it is just inches. Will they be tempted to go for it here? That remains to be seen, what decision they will make. An interesting formation there, only showing one quarterback, one halfback, 2 tight ends.
And it's the offense that takes the field on 4th down. They're all tied in on the line here on 4th and short. He makes it to the 28-yard line. Unbelievable. They can't get this.
That looked like a, 71, an offensive lineman playing fullback out of the goal line set there for Purdue. He's able to fall forward. Gets 2 yards when they just needed 1. Not even a full yard. They just needed inches. But they're able to convert and maintain possession of the football with 1:40 remaining here in the third quarter.
We're at the 12th play of the drive. Purdue with a 6-point lead. And he's taken down at the 27. The halfback picks up a yard. That brings up 2nd and 9.
One yard gain by the Boilermakers. Sets up 2nd and 9 on the 27-yard line. Clearly Purdue at this point already looking to take time off the clock. Playing game clock management for much of the game so far. They're not about to let up that strategy with the lead. It was a big first down, but we'll wait to see this penalty. It is a clipping penalty. That's going to bring it all back. It's going to be 2nd and 14 now for the Boilermakers. Out of the 32, they're pushed backwards after converting a first down that would have given them a red zone possession. Now pushed back out to the 32-yard line. 32 seconds and counting here in the third quarter. Purdue clinging to a less than touchdown lead. They'd love to put some points on the board, but right now they're happy to take time off that clock. Penn State's defense looking to make a play here. Another low pass, another low completion. A catch down by the shoestrings. Something in the throwing mechanics of Purdue keeps putting the ball down to the ankles of the receivers, but they're open by enough to be making those catches, setting themselves up with another 3rd and 1 as we end the third period.
Can they pull off the upset? Well, we're going to find out as we head into the fourth quarter. Boilermakers.
Run up the middle by Purdue on that short yardage play. Now we're 1st and 10 from the 17. They run to the weak side, but the defense is there. To the 20-yard line. 2nd and distance. 6:15 remaining on the clock in the football game.
2nd and 12. Ball on the 20-yard line.
You see the offensive production there. 114 to 113. Almost sacked. Quarterback able to get rid of the ball. Saves the field position. That would have been a big sack that could have potentially pushed them outside of field goal range. As it stands now, 3rd and 12. 5:51 remaining in the ball game. Purdue clinging to a 6-0 lead over the Nittany Lions, the 24th ranked Nittany Lions. Purdue with one victory to their credit over the last 2 seasons, looking to get their 2nd victory under the tenure of Coach rbark. It would be a big upset.
We've got 3rd and 12. Ball on the 20. Purdue up 6.
Back to throw. Makes another clutch 3rd down catch. That's going to set up 1st and goal. Welcome, Coach Seawack. You've missed quite the adventure. Purdue has been playing clock management the entire game. Penn State has been unable to stop them on 3rd down, whether it's 3rd and 1 or 3rd and 15, 3rd and 11. Purdue's converted an awful lot of them. They've gone for a 4th down and made it. Both teams have punted on 4th down. Obviously a very defensive struggle here so far. 1st and goal in the 2. Anything can still happen. 5.5 remaining in the football game as Purdue lines up where they got 5 wide receivers in the huddle there. As you see Penn State already beginning to counter on defense. What are they going to line up in here?
Quarterback all by himself in the backfield with 5 wideouts. Needed that play and he dropped it.
That could have been 6, folks. That could have been a touchdown. Instead it was drop. We'll see if that comes back to haunt the Boilermakers.
Fucking 40 seconds, that's it. No. Possession.
5:21 remaining in the football game. A lot can happen in 5 minutes. We'll see what happens in the next few seconds. Up the gut, stuffed. Purdue goes back up the gut, and Penn State's ready for it. Now 3rd and goal on the 2-yard line. I've got my guesses as to what Purdue might do. We'll see if mine are correct. We'll see if Penn State's are correct. We'll see what happens here on this huge, huge 3rd down play. Big 3rd and goal coming here in the 4th quarter. Purdue looking to add to their lead. Penn State looking to stiffen. It's a play-action pass. It's an incomplete pass. The Nittany Lions hold on 3rd down. We'll see what Purdue does on 4th down. Be hard to turn away the possibility of taking a lead by more than a touchdown. You can make the case that if you go for it and you miss it, you leave them 98 yards to go. But how do you turn down a 2-score lead?
And that looked like a pretty good move as they called timeout before the play clock ran out.
Purdue calling timeout with 2 seconds left in the play clock. 4 minutes and 40 seconds left on the game clock. The ball nestled at the 2-yard line in the shadow of the Penn State goal posts. Purdue clinging to a 6-0 lead, looking to add to it in some way, shape, or form here on this next play. Penn State looking at the clock, looking at the scoreboard, knowing that they need to act quickly no matter what happens on this next play. I am waiting for both coaches, Mr. Hutt. I am not playing. I am the commentator. We've got Coach rbark and we've got Coach Ninja facing off here in League 1 action. It is a 4th down attempt. They are stuffed at the goal line. The Penn State goal line defense holds. A massive attempt, a massive stop. Leading by less than a touchdown, Purdue forgoes the field goal. Now Penn State left, looking at acres of green in front of them before they could even think of scoring. At this moment right now, they are thinking of getting a first down.
Fourth quarter in a very important and a very tight football game. And who's going to come to the forefront? We'll see who's got the most leadership.
Backed up with very little room to work. Gets the completion that gets things kicked off. It goes for, it's an incompletion. It looked like he made the catch at first, but he got jostled. The ball fell to the turf. A little bit more bad luck for Penn State. They have survived some bad luck so far and still have a chance to take the lead here late in the 4th quarter.
It's second down. Tough spot here deep in their own territory.
Penn State out in the shotgun set. Coach Ninja surveying the field. Sees a quarter defense by Purdue. Makes the catch. It's a 2-yard gain. It's going to be 3rd and long. A little bit more room to work with. But the Nittany Lions will still be throwing out of their own end zone here on this next play. In desperate search of a conversion at this point. Points are on the horizon. They are in the distance. Penn State looking just for a conversion at this point in time. Purdue hanging on, clinging to a lead, looking for the upset. Almost picked off. It's going to be 4th and 8. On the 4-yard line.
It's near enough, makes no difference.
So they're going to go for it here.
Big 4th down play coming here. Intercepted by Purdue. That assists Penn State with regard to about 11 or 12 extra yards. 4 minutes and 2 seconds remaining here. Still time. A turnover here changes everything instantly. As one coach I know likes to say, they ain't in yet. Purdue, for their part, have played fantastically to put themselves in this situation. No one thought that they could do it. No one thought they could get this far. And yet here they sit with the lead and the football. Down to the 6-yard line. Penn State's going to use a timeout here, try to conserve some clock. 3:56 remaining here in the football game. The 7-yard line is where the ball sits. Purdue with the lead and the ball. 6-0 on 2 field goals. One in the first half, one in the second half.
the 7. Second down.
Purdue in there now, regular pistol set. Hands off to the halfback up the gut. He's stopped shy. It's 3rd and 1.
We'll have one timeout remaining. Hamilton picks up about 4 yards on the play.
4-yard gain makes things interesting. Purdue 3 feet from a first down. More time coming off the clock. Penn State looking to get the stop.
Short yardage situation here. It's 3rd and 1.
3rd and 1 from the 3-yard line.
6.
Touchdown Boilermakers. It's 12-0 Purdue. The extra point is good. Purdue leads 13-0. 3:49 remaining in the football game. Penn State awaiting the kickoff that will give them the football. They will need to score quickly and then come up with something if they're going to pull off what would be a huge comeback victory. Purdue checking the boxes, crossing the T's, dotting the I's, doing everything they've needed to do so far. Given a second chance inside the Penn State 20. This time they're able to get it into the end zone, get that 2-score lead. They almost paid for not kicking the field goal the first time around. Instead, Purdue now leads by 2 scores, and Penn State has a mountain in front of them.
Let's see if he can shake off that pick that he tossed last time out.
I look for the offense to come out with the same game plan as before. You don't make changes after one play.
Robinson with the completion up the middle of the field. Out the midfield stripe. It's at the 50-yard line. Penn State in the no huddle set. Time is against them. Incomplete pass by Williams will stop the clock.
From their own 49-yard line. Second down.
Penn State out of the shotgun. Purdue in the quarter defense. Penn State gets the conversion.
That is a great example of the quarterback seeing the whole field and finding the guy who had the best chance of making a catch. Down
to the Purdue 40-yard line. 5 wide receivers go out for a pass for Penn State.
And he can't get away from the pressure.
Well, we talked all week.
None of them get open in time for Penn State to make the pass. Purdue with the sack. That's going to set Penn State back a little bit, but more importantly, it's going to take time off that clock. It's going to keep that clock running. It's at now 3:06 and counting downwards. Getting closer and closer to midnight for the Nittany Lions. Still a chance, though. They've got personnel, they've got excellent players, they've got excellent coaching. 2nd and 17 is what they face here in this situation. Quarterback ice cold, unable to make an accurate throw there. Situations like this, you really need the maximum amount of touch. If you can imagine an accuracy meter, there's a happy zone in terms of the length that you hold the button down, the motion on the stick just beforehand, all of your throwing motion comes much more into play when your quarterback's as cold as Williams is right now. Accurate throw there by Williams. He bounces back. Hickman with the catch. Down to the 23-yard line. More and more of that time ticking off the clock. Those precious seconds working against Penn State. But they are fighting valiantly at this moment. Clutch pass completion to a receiver that isn't typically the first look on that play. Good reading of the defense by Penn State. For their part, Purdue happy to trade time for yards in this scenario.
They go back to him on a quick throw. He's tackled at the 4-yard line.
You saw Purdue smartly pull their defenders back on that last play, trying to keep everything in front of them. They were able to tackle him short, and that's going to account for another 10 seconds ticking off that clock no matter what happens on this play. Incompletion to the end zone stops the clock with 2:23 remaining. Penn State, of course, needs 2 touchdowns to win this game, so this is certainly 4-down territory here from the 4-yard line. They can still get a first down by getting 2 yards and not scoring. Purdue, of course, would be perfectly happy with that. More time off the clock. Penn State just looking to get in the end zone in this scenario.
Here's play number 10 on the drive. Just over 2 minutes in the game.
It's the quarterback draw. He gets the first down, gets stopped at the inch line. It's going to be 1st and goal, inches away. The tackle is going to save Purdue maybe a couple of seconds here if Penn State can get a score here on this next play, but more potentially if they stop them short. Incompletion will stop the clock. It's roughing the passer. They hit him a little bit late. Of course, what better place on the field to get a personal foul than from the inch line? What is half the distance to the goal when you're 7 inches away? 1st and goal now from the 1-yard line. Penn State looking to get their first points of the ball game. 2:13 remaining.
It's first down, and they'll bring it up 1st and goal.
Inches away. The tip of the football looks like it's almost touching the paint.
Receivers split out. The quarterback in the gun.
Touchdown, Penn State.
Big touchdown, and now we're down to a 1-score game.
State forced to try the onside kick. We'll see what happens.
Looks like they're lined up for the onside kick.
It's a good kick, but Purdue recovers it. They'll take over, leading by 6. 2 minutes and 10 seconds left at the 43-yard line.
Here we are early in the fourth quarter in a very, very tight ball game. And every possession is going to count from here on out. A little more than 2 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. He's at the 30. He's at the 20. To the 10. He's all the way. Touchdown. Well, the offense certainly did their
About the only thing that was good about that play for Penn State was that it was so quickly. However, that was a massive play for Purdue. A huge run to the left side out of the pistol formation. They had 2 tight ends set up on the left side. They ran to the strong side. They were able to get a massive run. All sorts of blocking there on the left side, despite the fact that Penn State was keying on the halfback. Unable to penetrate the blocking, unable to sift through the blockers there. And Purdue able to put the lead right back to 13 seconds. As hard as Penn State tried to put the first points on the board on their column, Purdue answers back so quickly.
He just drills this one.
There are, however, 2 minutes and 3 seconds left on the clock.
End zone for a touchback.
If Penn State were able to somehow score with a minute or even a minute and a half gone, it could still come down to an onside kick situation.
This offense just torched the defense through the air with a great passing attack on their last drive.
As long as this quarterback has time to
If
throw,
they save their timeouts and they score quickly enough, it would have to be super quick.
Tackle made.
It would have to be super quick for them to be able to get 2 35 or 45 second plays. Yeah, I don't think it can be done. So they need first downs at this point. They need points at this point. They're going to need an onside kick at this point. Gets the completion across the midfield stripe into Purdue territory. The Boilermakers still happy to trade yards for time. They are in the driver's seat, leading 20-7. 1:53 remaining in the football game here from Ross-Ade Stadium in Indiana. Penn State goes long to Robinson, down almost to the red zone, down to the 22-yard line. 1:43 remaining in the football game. Another completion to Robinson nets them another first down. It's going to be at about the 12-yard line, maybe the 11-yard line. We'll see what they call it. 1st and 10 here for the Nittany Lions. 1:37 and running now. Gets the completion down to the 3-yard line. 1:26, 1:25. Touchdown, Penn State. I will not go gentle into that good night. All right, folks, here's your ball game.
Looks like we're about to see the most exciting play in football. The onside kick. And he's tackled.
Purdue recovers it.
I wonder if they might
1:15 remaining.
they can be careful with the ball.
If you just joined us, Purdue, the upstart Boilermakers, have come in to a home game against the 24th ranked Penn State Nittany Lions. Executed an excellent game plan, executed patience, and are clinging to a 6-point lead, looking to pull off their second ever victory in League One. That's Coach rbark, the coach of Purdue, versus Coach Ninja, the coach of Penn State. I am Coach Spectre.
He tackles him for a loss.
Penn State uses their last timeout, 1:10 remaining in the football game. Second down. Penn State desperate for the football. Purdue hoping to pull the upset.
From the 46-yard line. Second down. They come out in a goal line set.
Goal line formation for the Boilermakers. Penn State in the goal line set of their own. It's a run to the left side. He runs towards the outside.
And they hit him in the backfield.
It's a huge loss. It's going to be 3rd and 15. But that clock is running.
And willing to be able to come up and make plays like this to be able to stop the run. This is a big-time play by a corner, showing the versatility to be able to come up and be physical in the run game.
From their own 49-yard line. Third down.
That's going to do it, ladies and gentlemen. The victory formation for Purdue. They pull off the massive upset, 20-14, knocking off Coach Ninja's Nittany Lions. The 24th ranked Nittany Lions. Purdue's first win against the top 25 opponent. Purdue's second win ever. Coach rbark may have potentially just saved his job at Purdue. For Penn State's part, this was, of course, a non-divisional game. The loss will sting. No one likes to lose a football game. But their future remains ahead of them. All goals remain possible. But a solid game plan, good defense, and a little bit of inaccurate passing by Penn State's quarterback results in an upset by the Boilermakers. Credit where credit's due. They called a good game plan, and Penn State's quarterback got them a couple of touchdowns late, and it was a matter of a few third down completions by Purdue that were close calls. Some of them were passes down near their shoelaces that were caught. Some of them were plays where the receiver just made a heck of a play, where he made the catch, got hit immediately. Penn State had the right coverage, good coverage, but was unable to jostle the ball loose or get there just in time. Purdue able to hang on to a couple of extra footballs and able to convert a couple of third downs. But again, give credit where credit's due. A great job by Coach rbark. He called a good game plan. And was clearly prepared for this football game. I don't know what his methods were leading into it to make preparations for this game. All of us take this thing pretty seriously and go in depth. We, of course, do have it set on the toughest difficulty, not just Heisman level, but some pretty extreme sliders, tougher than most, if not all, that I've seen. particularly disadvantageous to running back ability and offensive line blocking for user teams. All in an effort to make computer games as tough as possible, but of course those things do have an effect on user games as well. So when you see a little bit of inaccurate throws by the quarterback, or you see players making plays, whether it be on offense or defense, of course you always want to take into account what type of settings the league is on. It was a highly competitive game. And again, it must be said, congratulations to Coach rbark. He coached a hell of a football game, came in prepared, made the plays when he had to, made 98% good decisions. I think maybe if he could have one back, it would be the fourth down, foregoing the field goal that almost cost him late in the football game. Turns out it didn't cost him, of course. He was able to get the touchdown on the second try because Penn State was forced to go for a fourth down. Good defense on Purdue's part. And congratulations to Coach rbark on getting his second one in league play. And again, next week's action here on this stream, you'll see both Penn State and Washington State in action. We'll see right here. We're going to pull up to see what games we're going to have on tap for you next week. Looks like we're going to have Utah at Washington State, and in addition, a rivalry game. Penn State will be asked to bounce back rather quickly. They're going to remain on the road at number 18th ranked Nebraska. That game has been close in the past. It is a rivalry game. It is another interdivisional game between Penn State and a Western Division foe. They have yet to play any divisional games in the Big Ten East. Of course, they're always competing for that title and look to remain doing so this year. Moving forward for Purdue, they get their second win of the year, and Coach rbark looks to build upon that. We don't have his games, unfortunately, on Twitch normally, simply because you have to be in the presence of the software. So that'll do it for us this week. We thank you for joining us. We had a nice crowd tonight, and we look forward to your company next Friday night.